And tonight, we will set new records. That's why this is pretty serious.
That's why 10 Tampa Bay has Weather Impact Alert, the forecast you need during hurricane season.
Most of what you see in red here, I would expect easily to be flooded.
Warning you when dangerous weather is on the way.
Especially Thursday afternoon, Thursday night.
And how to stay safe.
Hopefully you have evacuated.
And I wouldn't plan on travel much of tomorrow.
Weather Impact Alert, only on 10 Tampa Bay.
We need to say prayers for those people.
Keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, I want to thank you for joining us here. I'm Jamison Euler. This is your 10 Tampa Bay wake-up call.
And I'm Sarah Rosario, in for Caitlin Lockerbie this morning. Happening in just hours, President Joe Biden is expected to visit Florida, and the devastation left behind by her president is set to visit Perry and Keaton Beach, where the Category 4 storm made landfall last week.
Yeah, and this is just some of the damage that President Biden will see today. We're working to find out if he will meet with Governor Ron DeSantis. The Democrat will also visit several areas in Georgia hit by the storm. The visit comes one day after the 81-year-old approved more federal aid for Florida following
Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas about FEMA's funding and how its coffers might be running dry.
So let's get you up to speed now with a first look at your Thursday morning forecast.
Good morning to you. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here helping you plan out the day. So we do see a couple showers and storms over towards the East Coast, fizzling out, losing steam. Meanwhile, here at home, yes, I know you see all that green. That's just interference with our radar, typical for this time of the morning. So we really have nothing out there. We're completely dry for the Tampa Bay area. Next 12 hours, it doesn't stay that way. So just make sure you're planning ahead for some showers and storms, especially after 1, 2 o'clock. We really see the first half of your day looking pretty nice. A little bit of patchy fog, but otherwise we see a lot of sunshine. That'll warm us up. We have the heat, we have the humidity.
Storm recovery questions answered today on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
Now live on 10 Tampa Bay this morning. $777 million, the growing cost at this hour from Helene, and why you need to act soon.
Plus, debris pickup continuing across Tampa Bay, including in hard-hit Gulfport. But where is all the trash going?
And in need of a boost after years of supporting the community, what one community resource now say they need to stay afloat.
Keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
And good morning, I'm Jamison Euler. Today is Thursday, October 3rd.
And I'm Sarah Rosario, in for Caitlin Lockerbie. You're watching us right here on 10 Tampa Bay. We hope you've had a wonderful lot, especially with the cleanup. We would want to get a first check of our forecast with meteorologist Amanda Pappas. Hi, Amanda. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. So I went volunteering yesterday, and I mean, it's just heartbreaking to see the devastation. But at this point, we're continuing to stay positive. We do know that the ongoing recovery and effort is underway, and your day's underway too. So to help you plan that out, we are nice and dry to start, which is great news. We do see some patchy fog out there, looking a little steamy because of how sticky it is outside. Seeing that current air temperature at 78 and that dew point almost matching there. So that is definitely going to mean that it is going to be a little more sticky than we'd like it to be, right? So that current visibility showing some of that patchy fog. Let me go back for you guys over towards eastern Polk County, keeping that in mind. But I'll have a quick check of the tropics all coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Amanda. Getting a look at traffic right now. We were looking at those wet conditions along the roadways. Some slick roads for drivers through portions of Polk County. Haines this morning, maybe a reason to take it easy. A closer look here. Portions of I-4 included there, 559, 17, and 27 as well. If you're going to be driving through portions of Bradenton, take a look at your screen here. A couple of hazards to remind you about as access is being restricted for some areas there through Bradenton. Some roads still closed as a result of the damage from Helene. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that for you and letting you know when and how traffic's going to be looking. There's a hazard there reported at Cortez Road. The bridge is blocked there from Gulf Drive to 127th Street. Leading us off this morning, recovery efforts across the Tampa Bay area is set to continue following Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, this morning, President Biden is set to touch down in Florida and Georgia to see the destruction firsthand. Helene is now the second deadliest hurricane to hit the United States this century. Only Hurricane Katrina was worse. 181 people are confirmed dead across 6 states, at least 14 in the Tampa Bay area alone. Right now, hundreds of people are still missing. President Biden, while visiting the Carolinas, promising that more help is on the way.
In a moment like this, we put politics aside. And our job is to help as many people as we can, as quickly as we can.
The White House is deploying 1,000 active duty U.S. soldiers to support the delivery of food, water, and other critical commodities to communities impacted by Hurricane Helene.
And in just a couple of hours, Bradenton Beach is set to reopen for the first time since Helene. Residents, homeowners, and business owners will be allowed back to inspect their properties. The checkpoint is along Cortez Road West and 127th Street West, which is just what I was telling you about, is closed and traffic. It is set to reopen today at 8 a.m.
Well, happening today, debris pickup will begin in Gulfport.
This comes as that hard-hit community continues to pick up the pieces from the hurricane. And our 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Valturo continues our coverage for us, joining us live from Gulfport with the latest. Good morning, Nick.
Sarah Jameson, good morning. And yes, Gulfport was one of those cities hardest hit by Helene. We're talking about 6 to 8 feet of storm surge, and we saw flooding that we haven't seen in more than 100 years here in the Tampa Bay area. Now, neighbors, along with businesses here in Gulfport, you can from tarps and tables to chairs and broken pieces of furniture all lining the roads. And starting today, they can get rid of some of this junk, with the city starting to pick up some of that debris. Now, the city is asking residents to place that debris in the right-of-way in front of their place. They don't want any of that debris blocking any alleyways, blocking any fire extinguishers, blocking anything that the city needs to be able to access. So if you're going to put out that trash, they're asking to make sure it's clear in the right-of-way here, so it makes it easy for the city to come scoop up.
Nick, from north to south, this is going to be quite a massive undertaking. When we're talking about Gulfport here this morning, any idea how long this debris pickup cleaning process is going to take at this point?
Yeah, and like you mentioned, Jameson, this is a monumental job. There is so much debris. I mean, just look behind me at some of these businesses. This is stuff you wouldn't see ever. No, going to need to be patient because it could take up to months to get rid of a lot of this trash. For right now, reporting live in Gulfport, Nick Valturo, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. In South Tampa this morning, we're getting a closer look at the damage to the Ballast Point Pier off of Interbay Boulevard. Several planks were pushed up on the pier, leaving gaps and holes there. The pier is blocked off until it can be repaired. It's unclear when that will happen, though. A few feet from the pier, the city-owned Joe Abraham's Fitness and Wellness Center is also closed until further notice, after it flooded as well.
Wow, look at that video there. And as crews continue to work to get power restored and other services up and running, many communities are launching comfort stations. There are 6 locations all across Hillsborough County. They're on your screen there. The centers are offering up things like water, ice, hot food, even showers and laundry services, much needed for so many. Organizers say they plan to be up and running from 7 to 7 through at least Thursday.
And in Pasco County, there are 3 comfort stations open for residents in need as well. Each location will provide air conditioning, showers, and charging stations. The Newport Richey location will also be providing free laundry services. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says FEMA can meet immediate needs, but does not have enough funding to make it through the entire hurricane season.
A bipartisan group of senators from affected states wrote to their leadership this week saying it is clear Congress must act, saying it may even require lawmakers to come back in October ahead of the election. If FEMA disaster relief funding does run out, FEMA is set to prioritize only life-saving and life-sustaining activities. Current recovery efforts will go uninterrupted, however, and new obligations not necessary for life-saving will be paused. We know a lot of you have questions about storm recovery, things like your insurance, how to hire a contractor, a restoration company, or even a tree service. Text your questions now to the number on your screen, then watch for your answers live on our streaming app, 10 Tampa Bay Plus, and on our Facebook page and YouTube channels today at 1 p.m. That number is 727-577-8522. We're here to help homeowners, renters, all of you. Even if you didn't get damaged, maybe you should check it out as well, so you'll know what to do, or maybe tell a friend next time a storm hits.
Time now 5:09. Debris debacle, haulers on hold in one local county, curbs for months.
10 Tampa Bay Traffic is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
The hurricane changed lives. So many of you have questions on what to do next.
So we want to help you ask the experts. Text your questions to this phone number.
Then watch for answers today on our live stream on the 10 Tampa Bay Plus app at 1 p.m.
It's been a huge week on Wheel. And our BetMGM Big Winners Tournament is getting better with each spin.
There's a lot of money on that wheel.
Which of these players will return to take home the grand total?
I'm excited for this.
Wheel tonight at 7 on 10 Tampa Bay. Stay informed with news alerts that are sent right to your phone. Stay prepared for any kind of weather. Stay connected to your community. Download the 10 Tampa Bay app. Sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. 10 Tampa Bay with Jamison Euler. Caitlin Lockerbie. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas. And traffic with Sarah Rosario.
5:12 is your time. Here at home, there's still so much damage from Helene. This is video from Sunset Beach. Our own Amanda Pappas there, Colleen Campbell, our meteorologist, volunteering to help with recovery efforts. Take a look at some of that video there.
So what kind of stuck out there to you when you were out there?
The just piles of sand. I mean, like the videos, the pictures just don't do it justice. With the amount of sand there is, you can't even pass through. There's no cars. And Sunset Beach, we were one of the first people to actually be allowed to access there to drop off that food and water. So realistically, another thing that stuck out though was how positive some of these people are and how resilient they are as well. So, yeah. But we definitely need help. So that's something to keep in mind. And I'm also continuing to watch and keep a close eye on the tropics for you. Don't worry. No need to be fearing or just because I know this area right here of development could give you a little scare. So what I want to break down for you is what is it? Well, it's an area of disorganized thunderstorms and showers that we're watching, and we could see an area of low pressure that pushes into the Gulf heading into late this weekend, early next week. So Sunday into Tuesday, we're going to be watching for something to form. Now, I'm not talking about a hurricane, nothing like Helene. There is no sort of indication like that we'd see a strong or powerful system in the Gulf. So that's good. What we could see is an area of low pressure or a sloppy rainmaker. That's it. So what would happen? We would see this continue to push into the Gulf, either basically a low pressure system or a tropical depression. Now, if that were to happen, that would bring us a ton of rain, potentially late Sunday, Monday into Tuesday. So nonetheless, even if it isn't a full-fledged tropical system, it still could be a problem for those that were significantly impacted with all the flooding and the storm surge from Helene. We really need a lot of time to dry out. So we're hoping that this system continues to be weak, and right now everything is pointing to good news, which is that it does remain weak. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. But for right now, we are dry as well. Out the door, 78 degrees, dew point at 74, and we see that most of your morning we're going to be dry, not a cloud in the sky, a lot of sunshine, and then we start to see a couple of those showers at 3 o'clock, and then again our heaviest amounts of rainfall will be in our area between, I would say, about 4:30 to about 6:37, and then we start to see those rain chances taper off until 11 o'clock tonight. We don't have any excessive rainfall outlooks. We love to see that. We're going to continue to keep an eye on that. The Weather Prediction Center could change that, especially heading into late this weekend, early next week, as we could see that rain tomorrow, 50, another 40 for you Saturday. So I would say Saturday is going to be the best day to get outside with the least amount of rain chances. We'll see a lot of sunshine there. Then Sunday, that area that I showed you in yellow, that big old lemon, that is when we could see a low pressure system form or even a tropical depression and bring us these rain chances heading into Sunday and Monday. So all it would be is a rainmaker for us. I want to stress that. No Hurricane Helene round 2, nothing like that. I know you could be seeing stuff like that online. That is not the case. And we do see that radar is dry now. Everything is calm. We're at 90 degrees for today. Yes, we will see some afternoon storms. Your marine forecast is nice and calm as well. A light chop out there. That's what we like to see. But look at this rainmaker. We could be seeing a good amount of rain. I'm talking up to 2, 3, even 4, 5 inches heading into next Wednesday. So if that comes to fruition, that could be an issue for some of our coastal areas. But once that passes through Tuesday, longer lookout Wednesday into Thursday. Guess what? We could be seeing our first fall front come to Florida heading into this next Thursday. So after we deal with all the rain and humidity, especially for the first half of next week, that is when we could see a major drop in that humidity coming up. Sarah?
Thank you, Amanda. Well, we're looking at traffic right now and still looking at our bridges. Everything's up to speed here across the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. No big slowdowns to tell you about. We do have one crash we're looking at, but the rest of our Tampa Bay area is looking good. No big crashes that are slowing drivers down in a significant way. Getting a closer look at this one. It's for our drivers through portions of Brooksville. Good morning, Hernando County. If you're going to be driving by Munden Hill Road, westbound lanes are impacted. A crash at Preston Road under investigation there. Still seeing some slick conditions conditions along the roadways, wet conditions for drivers in Polk City this morning. Our Polk County friends heads up about that, and in Sarasota. A little road hazards, several of them along the roadways there. This one at Palm Avenue, roadblock between Coconut Avenue and Tamiami Trail. It's a common sight in neighborhoods, as Amit was telling us, all across Tampa Bay after the storm. Sand piled up along the curb.
Yeah, and all that debris as well. It's a complicated process that will take months to clear in Pinellas County. That process is already being delayed for many. 10 Tampa Bay's Chris Hurst talked to commercial haulers who say they've been turned away at the county landfill. Wow. All right. Right now, there's even more incentive for counties and cities to do everything by the book. The White House says it's increasing its FEMA reimbursed 75 to 100% of costs. All right, time now 5:19. Standing in the gap for others.
In this week's Beautiful People, how one woman is going over and above to provide support for Tampa Bay area families.
Beautiful People Tampa Bay is sponsored by Advent Health.
Good morning to you guys. Meteorologist Amanda Pappas here, helping you just track out the tropics and keeping your mind at ease. So our latest development right at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock, we see from the National Hurricane Center, we have Kirk, which is going to be a very nasty back out into sea and not impact land, be a fish storm. In addition to that, Leslie, now we have out in the eastern portion of the Atlantic as well. That, again, not going to be a threat for us either. And also seeing that we do have another area of development, and that only has a low end 30% chance for development over the next couple of days. So good news is in from the National Hurricane Center and from the models. This percentage right here, this area of disturbed weather has dropped from yesterday and the day prior. And here's why. We do see that from the European model when we're watching this, that heading into early next week, right around Tuesday into Wednesday, this system is going to be just an area of elongated low pressure. So stretched out low that basically really can't strengthen. However, it could be a major rainmaker for us heading into next week. And then the American model shows something a little better organized, a little stronger, potentially low end chance for a tropical depression. Nothing indicates that we would have another Helene situation, but we definitely could have a major rainmaker. All this wind shear is going to keep this at bay, thankfully, in the tropics. So good news there.
Filing claims Helene estimated to have caused billions of dollars in damage. Straight ahead, the resources you need to file.
10 Tampa Bay closed captioning is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. 10 Tampa Bay with Jamison Euler, Caitlin Lockerbie, meteorologist Amanda Pappas, and traffic with Sarah Rosario.
Welcome back to 10 Tampa Bay. I'm Sarah Rosario in for Caitlin Lockerbie.
And good morning. I'm Jamison Euler here with meteorologist Amanda Pappas. Maybe you're getting set to head out the door for the day. What are we looking forward to?
We are looking forward to nice, calm conditions. As we head outside, it's going to be dry, but we'll see storms this afternoon. So have the umbrella, especially if you're picking up the kids from school. Jamison, you'll have the windshield wipers going when you're picking them up in the car line. And you at home, well, what can you expect? We do see that the tropics, yes, they're still going to be a little active. So what we want to go over is, yes, your local forecast out the door right now. We're at 80 degrees, but we don't have to worry. I'm really excited to share some good news with you from the National Hurricane Center. Stepping outside, we're at 80 degrees right now. We see a lot of those twinkling lights from our beautiful downtown St. Pete sky camera. And the current visibility, we see a little bit of patchy fog starting to pop up towards eastern Polk County. But aside from that, really not seeing very much. And then we also see that we do have the tropics that are going to continue to be active. And we also have some of those showers already starting up over towards the East Coast. But I'll time out when and where you need that umbrella, all coming up.
All right. Thank you, Amanda. As we get a look at traffic across the Bay Area, things looking okay so far. Here's a look at the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. And now looking at some of our current crashes. No big crashes to tell you about that are impacting traffic in a significant way. We were looking at Wandin Hill. There is an incident there under investigation at Preston Road. Also getting a wider look at the area. It appears the slick conditions that we're looking at the drive impacting portions of it through Polk City. Now clear. Things looking good as far as our road weather hazards. The only thing we're seeing right now are some roadblocks because of the remnants of Helene through portions of Manatee and Sarasota County, like this one, Palm Avenue, between Coconut Avenue and Tamiami Trail.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Getting you informed this morning at 5:32, President Joe Biden will visit Florida and Georgia today to view the areas impacted by Hurricane Helene. At this hour, it's unclear if President Biden will meet with Governor Ron DeSantis or Governor Brian Kemp on this trip. The president's trip comes just one day after he toured damage in North and South Carolina. On Wednesday, Mr. Biden directed the Defense Department to send up to 1,000 active duty soldiers to disaster areas to pass out food, water, and other supplies. At last check, at least 180 people have died from Helene.
Well, in just hours, Bradenton Beach is set to reopen for the first time since Helene. Residents, homeowners, and business owners will be allowed back in to inspect their properties. There's a checkpoint along Cortez Road west at 127th Street. Gosh, I mean, we just had, I feel like, red tide just a couple of years ago, and the scare of this coming back. Well, after days of cleanup efforts in Pinellas County, community members are coming together for a day of reflection and hopefully a few hours of rest.
Yeah, we could use that, right? 10 Tampa Bay reporter Jack Culkin joins us live from the Salvation Army in Clearwater with more on that. Jack.
Is continuing to come together, as you said, starting today at 7 a.m. here at the Salvation Army's Worship Center along North Belcher Road in Clearwater. A community prayer breakfast will be held now.
5:39 is your time and update on a story we've been following out of Highlands County for years now. Since 2020, a 22-year-old now is expected to spend the rest of his life in prison after being convicted of a murder happening in Avon Park. Investigators killed 21-year-old Christopher Reese in an ambush that happened in the front yard of a home on Memorial Drive. Bent was arrested after 2 days after the shooting. The investigation revealing that he killed Reese over a debt the victim reportedly owed his cousin. Bent was found guilty of second-degree murder. Continuing coverage this morning also on the biggest dock worker strike in nearly half a century. At last check, still no negotiations scheduled between the International Longshoremen's Association and employers, but port owners signaled late last night that they were open to new talks. Owners are under pressure now from the White House to hike their pay offer in to land a deal. At this hour, at least 45 container vessels that have been unusable to unload are anchored up outside East Coast and Gulf Coast ports. The strike blocks everything from things like food, car shipments even. Economists warn the strike will cost the economy billions of dollars a day.
Getting up to speed now on a consumer alert happening in Pasco County. The sheriff's office now warning residents about a jury duty scam. Scammers are claiming to be PCSO members, even using actual employee names. They call neighbors saying you missed jury duty and you owe a fee. Scammers then ask for that fee to be paid through PayPal or another similar account. PCSO stresses they will never call residents for any sort of payment to resolve any issues. If you get a call from a scammer, they're just telling you to hang up the phone.
Well, as you wake up this morning, an issue that may have affected your bank account is now largely resolved. We're talking about Bank of America and its customers reporting outages over the last 24 hours. Some clients claim they couldn't see their accounts, and others who were able to access their accounts reportedly seeing a balance of zero. So far, the company has not said what caused the issue. Definitely. Still ahead for you on 10 Tampa Bay, whooping cough cases growing in the U.S. Why doctors say early prevention is key. What you can do ahead at 5:50.
With the Lightning season opener 8 days away, a Bolts rookie proved he is ready to make this roster. Who it is and why he earned brownie points with the veterans in that locker room.
Good morning to you guys. Seeing that we do definitely want to go outside and try to soak up a lot of this. What we're going to have is going to be a nice day, dry conditions for you, and temperatures will be on the rise back up to 90 degrees. And we do see that you need that umbrella. Keep it on you for later. I'll time out exactly when and where in your area you could see those heavy downpours, showers and storms all coming up. Don't go away. Stay right here. We'll be back.
10 Tampa Bay is sponsored by the Original Mattress Factory.
Good morning. 5:45 is the time. A little Florida-Georgia line as we get you out the door
as we're
this
cruising
morning.
along this morning.
Yes, we're giving you a live look outside at St. Pete. We were saying yesterday it's nice to see a bright, shining city. Lights back on for so many people after the storm.
Well, we definitely had some afternoon thunderstorms yesterday, and then some thunderstorms last night as well in some areas.
what to expect now.
I'm complaining about that 10 p.m. wake up when we're trying to get some sleep on this shift.
I woke up on that too, and I was like, wow, it is just so powerful to really sound like that. It sounds like a noise machine, but then all of a sudden it feels like you're in the storm, right?
Exactly.
So speaking of which, what do we got outside? Live look for you. It is beautiful on our visitTampaBay.com sky camera. We see those currents right now showing us that we are realistically sitting really nice, not just there, but also for our ascent St. Petersburg sky cam. We saw that it's beautiful outside on this camera, and this is really just our beacon of hope and light right now, especially after Hurricane Helene. Pinellas County still dealing with multiple power outages, so it's nice to see this shot of everything glowing. 80 degrees right now for your current air temperature, 76 for that dew point. We see radar is nice and dry. I know you're seeing all this green, and what it is not rain. This is just interference with our radar, that boundary layer essentially. So otherwise, we do have a couple of showers over towards the East Coast. Now, when do we see our shower activity? Well, not for some time. We want to keep the umbrella in the front seat with us this morning and pack it in the kids' backpack as well. We do see that all throughout this morning. We have a lot of sunshine in place. It'll be a beautiful day. It's going to be hot and humid though, and we see the rain starting to pop up around 3-4 o'clock. It's going to move from our inland zones to the coast throughout the day today. So our easterly flow, our offshore flow, you can see right here, that is basically what it's going to do, is push all of the shower activity from the East Coast to the West Coast throughout the later afternoon and evening hours. So the best chance for rain for us is going to come from about 4 to 7 p.m. We see about a 50 to 60% chance for rain depending upon where you are. We're dry the first half of the day, and then heading into the second half for your Thursday or Friday Eve, as I like to call it, we're looking good. And then for your finally Friday tomorrow, we see more of a similar pattern, a little bit less in terms of the rain chances overall, but hey, a little more cloud cover, less rain chances, not a bad thing. That means that we're going to be a little cooler, and with the less rain, hey, that means it'll be a nicer Friday. However, rain chances begin to go up heading into the weekend and early next week. We could be seeing anywhere from about 5, even 6 inches of rainfall in some areas. Mostly Southwest Florida is going to be the ones to be impacted by this, but we can see a low pressure system would form in the Gulf. That's what we're talking about in the tropics, and potentially hit us heading into portions of Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But it is not going to be a Hurricane Helene. It is not going to be a strong system whatsoever. This would be a sloppy rainmaker for us at best. And we continue to see all this moisture, right? But we start to see that we nosedive with the humidity heading into next Thursday, and that means our first fall Florida front could be coming through. All that brown is that dry air, so you'd finally feel a little more like fall heading into later next week on your 7-day forecast.
And getting a look at traffic across our Bay Area. Here's a look at I-4 near County Road 532. Traffic starting to pick up for us as we kick off our Thursday morning ride. And then looking at the rest of our traffic here along I-75. Again, busy right now. Thankfully, no big slowdowns across these main corridors of Tampa Bay. Our bridges are looking good right now as we look at the ride at 549. And then here's a look at some crashes. Couple more, unfortunately, popping up. Pasco County drivers. There's a crash here north of Jasmine Estates for drivers headed through Cathy Drive at Rohrman Road. Also looking at another one here at Lutz Lake Fern Road, a crash near Holly Lane south of Land O'Lakes.
Now, this is 10 Tampa Bay Sports.
All right, just ahead at the top of the hour at 6 a.m. To keep them or toss them, we break down what to do with your sandbags.
Plus, debris collection starting today in one local neighborhood. 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Valturo is live in just minutes with what you need to know.
A bombshell court filing in a case against former President Trump offers new details into his alleged efforts to illegally overturn the 2020 election. I'm Jared Hill with why the special counsel says he's not immune from prosecution.
As our community cleans up from Hurricane Helene, let us help answer your questions. From home repairs to food assistance and health needs. Visit 10tampabay.com/recovery today. 10 Tampa Bay Traffic is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
This morning, there are new details in a special counsel's January 6th related case against former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, court documents unsealed by a federal judge yesterday accused Mr. Trump of engaging in a criminal scheme to overturn the 2020 election results and that he acted as a private citizen. CBS News reporter Jared Hill has more. This case will not go to trial before next month's election, and if Mr. Trump wins, it will likely be shut down.
In world news this morning, the day after Iran fired about 180 missiles at Israel, reporters asked President Biden if he would support an Israeli airstrike on sites related to Iran's nuclear program. The president said the answer is no, as Israel's military operations against Hezbollah in Lebanon continue. 8 Israeli soldiers were killed there on Wednesday.
In health news this morning, more cases of whooping cough are being reported throughout the U.S. Whooping cough is spread when an individual who is infected coughs, sneezes, even breathes close to another person. Early symptoms may look like a common cold and then typically progress into a persistent, violent cough. The coughing episodes could last for weeks or even months. Babies under 6 months are most at risk for whooping cough. Symptoms for that age group include coughing and difficulty breathing, which can be life-threatening. Doctors say vaccination is the key.
The one group with vaccination that we really need to focus on is pregnant patients. So the average patient, that recommendation is going to be get your Tdap vaccine, every 10 years. However, it's such high risk, especially in those first 6 months of life, it's recommended that anybody who's pregnant gets that pertussis vaccine in the form of a Tdap with every pregnancy.
Doctors say there are antibiotics available for whooping cough, but they only help with preventing further spread. Coughing fits have to be treated separately with other remedies.
And a first-of-its-kind new study suggests the creation of a smoke-free generation could help save lives around the world. Researchers in Spain found that banning tobacco sales for teens could prevent almost half of future lung cancer deaths in men and around 1/3 in women. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death worldwide.